We now welcome in Chris Lopresti and Jastremski for more on the Knicks win over the Lakers. OG Anunoby goes for 25. He's averaging 25 a game in the last three. So, JJ, has he been the Knicks' X factor in this six-game winning streak?
For me, yes, because when OG Anunoby is right, fellas, he transforms what the Knicks can be as far as an offensive team, and you don't have that same reliance on Jalen Brunson and on Karl-Anthony Towns. And let's be real, in this game against the Lakers, Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson were not prolific. They were not their usual selves. Karl-Anthony Towns has been in a funk for a month, and this was not an incredibly efficient Jalen Brunson game, but Anunoby really picked up the slack when it comes to scoring, and when he is more assertive and when he's attacking the basket, and you know he loves that corner three, CeeLo, to me it makes the Knicks so much more dangerous as an offensive team. So, yeah, we can talk about Hart and his improved shooting. Landry Shamet was great coming off the bench. He's had some big games, but this offense, this team, when Anunoby is that third wheel and he's right there with the big two, it changes things.
And this is the kind of game and night where, you know, he's able to get involved more because of Brunson not shooting it as well. And he makes the smart decision where it wasn't going his way early, and all of a sudden he starts to distribute. It was a career high 13 assists for him in the ball game. So I think it gives you a different Anunoby, because there are those nights in those games where maybe he gets lost in the shuffle a little bit offensively because Brunson and Towns are doing more. But it's nice to have another option and a guy that you can feel confident going to on these nights and these games where maybe Brunson's not shooting at a high clip, or like you said, Towns is going through something a little bit. But look, the collective group, I think, being pretty efficient overall helps as well. Anunoby certainly at the top of the list. Hart, it's 3 games in a row with 20-plus points, which he hasn't done it as a Knick up until now. So I think all of a sudden during this stretch, getting some other guys involved, OG certainly near the top of the list, makes a world of difference.
And doing it on both ends, as we saw in the highlight, 3 steals in this win over the Lakers. We are now joined by Sal Licata. So, Sal, in your eyes, who had the more impressive game on Sunday, OG or Landry Shamet?
Yeah, I think it's OG, Eamon. He just, when I'm watching that game, I'm thinking, whatever they do, and I know that they know this, but they cannot trade OG Anunoby. I don't care who's out there. He's one guy who's untouchable in the same vein as Jalen Brunson. What I will add, though, is I didn't think Landry Shamet had it in him. So the fact that he could contribute to this level, I'm not expecting that in the postseason in the biggest of games, but the fact that it lengthens out that bench a little bit and you can get productivity to the point where Shamet can light it up like that, I think that's more important. Anunoby, we know, is the better player. I thought he had the more impactful night, but I am surprised at how well Shamet has contributed here and how big of a factor he's been when healthy for this Knicks group.
Yeah, and that bench is getting a lot shorter now for Mike Brown. All right, the Knicks held L.A. to 44 points in the second half. They're allowing 91.8 points a game during this winning streak. So, Sal, have they figured things out defensively?
No, and they could talk about the changes and the adjustments that they've made on the perimeter. Brunson could say that they're communicating better, and that's something that he said, obviously, after the game. They are playing better. Am I convinced that their defense is fixed? No, I'm not. I mean, it's a 6-game stretch. You know, when the season first started, the first month of the year, Knicks are going to win the championship. Then you go back the last month or so, it's, oh, my God, the Knicks are awful. And now it's, well, 6 games have been good. Their defense must be fixed. No, I just think the Lakers didn't have enough depth or health on their part to shoot the 3 with efficiency. You shoot 28% from downtown, you're not going to win many games, especially the way the Knicks have been shooting. So I think it's more about the poor Lakers shooting than it was about the Knicks defense, even if you do factor in overall these last 6 games.
Well, the Knicks get a win over the Lakers, 112-100 here at Madison Square Garden. Ian Begley joins me to discuss. Ian, big offensive night for Landry Shamet, which we're going to get to, but during this 6-game stretch, the defense has really shined through. Did you see that again in this one?
Yeah, certainly. Another really strong second half defensively for this Knicks team. That's been the theme of this winning streak. And it's interesting because before the streak started, the Knicks had a couple of days to practice, and the coaches implemented a few changes. One of them, Mike Brown said, was simplifying the on-ball defender on the perimeter, that defender knowing where the help is coming. Knicks are now sending to the side instead of sending middle. And these changes, I think, have really helped. OG Anunoby in particular referenced defensive coordinator Brendan O'Connor and Darren Erman as the keys to those changes. And also Jalen Brunson was saying that we're not pointing fingers anymore on that end of the floor. We're communicating. Communication's been really good, and there's no finger pointing. So I think those are all the differences you're seeing on that end of the floor.
Yeah, it looks like they're all just playing calm. They're not trying to force anything. They look like a much calmer team during this win streak. And Landry Shamet has been huge. Another big offensive performance, 23 points in this game. What does he mean to this team offensively and defensively when he's playing the way he played in this game?
It really is both ends of the floor, because Mike Brown has said it all year. The idea that Landry Shamet's going to compete every possession on the end of the floor. He's going to use his body. He's going to make it difficult on drivers, and he's going to break up screens. And so that's what you see from him consistently. And then the offensive end, when he's knocking shots down like this, it gives them another threat from beyond the arc, particularly on a night like tonight where they were struggling to shoot, struggling to get the ball in the hole. So they needed something like that, and Shamet provided.
Yeah, he sparked them for sure. So the trade deadline coming up on Thursday, February 5th. Now that they're winning and they're on this win streak, do you see anything changing for the Knicks?
I mean, it's kind of early to say just because deadline's still a few days away. I still think they're going to be in on Jose Alvarado. I think Yves Missi is on their radar. That's been the case for a while now. Still think they're outside looking in on Giannis.
Yep.
And I think that they're going to continue to make calls and see what's available. The interesting thing to me is in Memphis, the John Morant situation unsettled. Jaren Jackson Jr. even being mentioned as a guy who could be moved if they decide to go completely opposite direction. So there are still things out there, even outside of Giannis, where everybody's kind of waiting and watching for that deadline.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of days for the Knicks and all over the NBA, but they have a date with the Wizards Tuesday night in Washington. Ian, thank you so much.